Hi, I'm Councilwoman Dr. Michelle Powell, and this is Healthy You Podcast. This podcast today is really exciting, and we are going to be talking about menopause, perimenopause, premenopause, and even a little bit about after menopause. Why am I doing this? First of all, we are celebrating Women's History Month as well as Women's Health Month. And how could we go through this month without discussing what is affecting at least half of America, if not more? Their mothers, fathers, sisters, brother, cousins, whether you're a man or a woman, you are experiencing somebody somewhere at work, in your home, in your community, who is having experience with what we call the phase called menopause. So I want to break it down first, and then I'm going to go through some questions of people who've come to me over the 30 years I've been a physician and have asked questions about menopause, or at least they think there might be. So let's start with some basics. First and foremost, how do I know if I am in menopause? Well, let's start with what menopause means. Menopause means that you have not had a menstrual cycle, a period, for 1 year. And no, it doesn't count if for 6 months you haven't had a period and then boom, your period comes back. Sorry, it's not official yet. Many women, after having a cycle from age 10, 11, or 12, are so looking forward to no menstrual cycle. I know I was. But it's not official, and you can't be classified until it's gone for an entire year. And why is that important? Because if you've not had a period for over a year, 10, 20, 30 years go by, and you're now maybe in your 70s, and all of a sudden you start menstruating, there is something to investigate. There might be something going on in the uterus, like a cancer, endometrial cancer, uterine cancer. We have to investigate that. So after menopause, I mean a significant time period, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and you get a period, please investigate it, talk with your family physician or your gynecologist. Now, let's talk about, so we're clear, 1 year, you're menopause. Well, what about those 6 months when I didn't have a period? Well, first of all, you want to make sure you're not pregnant, okay? Believe it or not, we have some late babies. Some women do get pregnant during that period of time where their periods are coming, not coming, coming, not coming. That's called perimenopause, or in my office, I say circling Pluto, meaning you're out there, you're almost there, but not quite until it's a complete year. So what are the things that you will be experiencing? First and foremost, you'll have those periods that are fluctuating. 2, 3 months will go by and all of a sudden you have a cycle. Other really strange things that happen in perimenopausal period is your periods change. Maybe you're a person who had every 28 days, boom, I have my cycle. Now it's coming every 20 days, 21 days, 30 days, or all over the place, 28, 30, 35, 40, and it's just not consistent anymore. Other things that people have told me that's happened is that it's uncomfortable. Sometimes they have smooth periods, don't even know it's happening, and all of a sudden they get to perimenopause and they're cramping and heavy clots are coming down. You may be going through perimenopausal period. But that's the least of the things I've heard from people. What are some of the major symptoms that you are in perimenopause or actual menopause? Whew, and there are a lot. Hot flashes, I call it hot again, the random spikes in your temperature. And I've tried to explain to people, because I am now going on 60, and I went through menopause at 47. And let me tell you, from 47 until like 52, it was as heat, was not like outside, like we're out in the sun. It's the kind of heat that comes from inside of you and then comes out. And then all of a sudden that heat, what happens to it? For those of you who experience it, it goes away and you could be freezing. And this happens very much at night. You're having a good night's sleep and boom, you're hot, sweating to the point that some women have to change their clothes. Their pillows are soaking wet, their hair is soaking wet. They have to have a fan next to them just to stay cool. And thank God they now have these cooling pillows. So if you by any chance are going to major night sweats, get yourself a cooling pillow. It really works. okay? And always keep some extra clothes. And I was layering, starting to layer at that time because I was hot, cold, hot, cold. Why is this happening? Your estrogen and your rhythm, that thing that controls your hormones, is starting to what I call nosedive. So when you start to go through perimenopause, all the symptoms that you may be feeling, hot flashes, mood swings, your moods, sometimes you're happy, sometimes you're sad, crying for uncontrollably for no reason at all. And my favorite, the foggy brain. Walking into a room and you're like, why am I here? Oh, and then all of a sudden, no, you don't have dementia. You're not getting dementia. It literally is your concentration is being affected. One, your sleep is interrupted. That affects your memory. Vasculature, your veins and arteries are changing. So for people out there with high blood pressure before menopause, when estrogen goes down, you're at increased risk of heart disease. So please take care of eating properly because it affects your blood vessels. That's why sometimes you'll even see increased varicose veins. I know I got them. In addition, be careful about if you have high blood pressure to take your medications because with a decrease in estrogen, it does affect your pressure and your vasculature. So we got hot flashes, sleep disturbance, and of course, my all-time favorite, the tube belly weight. All the weight starting to come on from the top of your stomach down to the hip. The one that we totally cannot stand, that belly fat, right? And you're thinking, why am I getting this belly fat? I hate to tell you, it's because your estrogen is taking a nosedive. So your metabolism is decreasing. You could be exercising like you've always exercised, you're eating amazingly well, but after 40, there's no forgiveness. You have to do more to actually stay in the same place. And with the hormones changing, estrogen going down, yes, it impacts your weight and it impacts your metabolism. And of course, other things. If you're in a relationship, sexual appetite, sexual libido, no one wants to talk about it, but sometimes that definitely goes down. Someone could have been a very active life, and all of a sudden, you lose complete interest because your testosterone level is also diminishing. And so nobody wants to talk about that, but it's very real. And the physical manifestation is that in the female body, the vaginal walls also lose um, that nice lubrication starts to go. I call it the Sahara Desert effect. The vaginal air starts to dry up. You know, all the lubrications you used to have, you don't have. And for some women, sexual intercourse becomes very painful and very uncomfortable. And so that's your hormones are gone, your sex drive is down, and then it's uncomfortable. Bye. You know, that whole engagement changes. And then hormonally, you're not sleeping. Another very common thing that happens are joint pains. Why am my everything's hurting? You know, my joints, my knees, my ankle. One of the things that estrogen allows us to do is maintain the synovial fluids. Synovial fluids are lubrication for our joints. When those fluids go down, unfortunately, we start getting a lot of bones rubbing and rubbing. And if you've been really active like an athlete, you already have lost a bit of cartilage, which is like the cushion. And then you're diminishing the amount of fluid between those cartilage. So you get kind of achy. So sleep disturbance, weight gain, um, low libido, brain fog. What else could I possibly have going on during this time in my life, right? There is more, okay? The depression can come on, almost like postpartum depression, where you just feel the blues all the time. That has to do with, again, the diminishing estrogen. Well, with all this good news that I'm sharing, what is the cure? First of all, I want to tell everybody it is normal. It is not abnormal. It's over 65% of women experience some form of menopausal symptoms, or peri means before complete sensation. Somebody, either you have a flash, memory fog, emotional ability, low libido, heart issues, joint pains. You get something over six. So it's completely normal for the body as it starts shifting and change. So first, you're not crazy. you don't have dementia, and um, you do not have arthritis. You do have decreased synovial fluid. You do have hormonal changes. Well, with all that being said, what can you do? Because I'm about having a healthy life. Does that mean I just sit in a box for the next 10 years until my body stabilizes with all this going on? No, there's lots of things you can do. First and foremost, if you have not had breast cancer, if you mammograms are normal, there is a thing called hormone replacement therapy, HRT. And it's scary for some people, but then for other women who are have no history of cancers in the family, hormone replacement therapy, replacing the estrogen and the progesterone in your body, relieves at least 90% of the symptoms. And you can take hormone replacement vaginally for the vaginal dryness. You can get estrogen. You can also take the patch. It comes in a patch form, and it comes in tablets to replace your progesterone. And it does help. Does it mean you'll have to be on these hormone replacement for life? No, not at all. Sometimes just a short period of time, maybe 6 months, a year, 2 years, helps to get you through that period of time where you're just miserable. you know? I mean, when I say I have women who've reached a point where, like, I can't be around people. I just feel so miserable. I'm tired all the time. I don't have any energy, and the weight will not stop. Exercising, eating right, and still the weight won't move, I recommend some hormone replacement therapy. And if you're not really set on synthetic hormones, there are things called bioidentical hormones, okay, which are utilizing more natural means of creating the hormones. And I don't want to get into the technicality of it. The other thing too, there are pellets that can be implanted on your skin 3 to 4 months, which will help to slowly release the hormones into your body. And let me tell you, the science out there is good. People are feeling better, you know? They're no longer miserable. They're not having those night sweats and hot flashes and memory loss. So there is actual treatment. The other thing too is keep nice tools around you to help you feel comfortable, right? Layer up when you go out. If you know you get the hot flashes, keep your fan with you. Keep a cooling blanket, pillow, as I said before. Other things to do, stay physically fit. It's no longer an option anymore. You have to stay fit and healthy. And what you eat matters. It really matters. Stay away from the heavy man-made processed foods. Stay lean and green, and exercise regularly. Those are just things to help balance that you don't have significant weight gain, okay? You're not failing because you have it through menopause, but you don't want to contribute by making it worse by eating poorly. Oh, well, I just give up right now because I'm going to gain weight anyway because I'm menopause. No, I don't want you to take that attitude. I want you to take, I'm going to be even healthy during this period of time. Does these symptoms last forever? No, they don't. Sometimes it's 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 6 months. Everyone is different. You may want to talk to a family member if they're available to see how long they had it, like your mother or your sister. Sometimes families have menopause the same time, same period of time. Others, mom didn't go to menopause till 60, and the daughter may be going through at 38. And yes, you can go through menopause before 40. It does happen. What are the more common ways it happens that we never talk about? If you've had a hysterectomy, having a hysterectomy affects your hormones. Having your ovaries removed affects your hormones, and it can put you into menopause. And sometimes we don't talk about that. And for myself, who had breast cancer, I was thrown into a worse menopausal symptoms after going through chemotherapy and having my estrogen, what little was there after menopause. I currently take medication that keeps my estrogen low, a daily chemo medication that keeps my estrogen level low. And so we don't talk about that. And therefore, lubricants for vaginal dryness you can use, but no hormonal therapy is recommended for certain stages of breast cancer. It's not recommended. So talk to your gynecologist, talk to endocrinologists about what is right for you. Now, what I don't want you doing, please, please, please don't bombard your doctors and run in. I need all my blood work done for my hormones. I guarantee you, if you're feeling symptoms and you're anywhere from 40 to 60, any of those symptoms I've talked about, hot flashes, memory loss, night sweats, weight gain, no period, you're going through menopause. And if you were to evaluate it, you can and you have estrogen levels from your 30s and you compare them to what you are in 50, you will see that they're going down. So FSH, LH, progesterone, testosterone, the estradiol, yes, you will see and change them. Do you need to do blood work for them? You don't, but if you're going to do hormone replacement therapy, I highly recommend getting your PAP, getting your mammogram, making sure those are normal, doing your hormone levels, and then get with a reputable person who understands hormone therapy and be monitored. Don't get in the bathroom. Don't take your friend's medication. Oh, this worked great for my hot flashes. What about the over-the-counter stuff, Doc? That's one of my. What about some of the things that they have with hers, and they have Estravand? Look, I have some people who do well with some of the over-the-counter medications. And then I have other people who don't do well with them. If you're having trouble with sleep, yes, take a melatonin or Altaril. And if you have joint pains, yes, you can go ahead with Tylenol, with Benadryl. But if it's to a point where it's every night you're having to take these, seek professional help. Talk with someone. But always remember, and I'm going to end with this, you're not crazy. You're not depressed. You're going through a natural process of life. But do you have to take it laying down? Not at all. We're in 2026, and menopause can be managed if we talk about it. So talk about it with your healthcare practitioner. Listen to some of the things I gave you, and you can always contact me at our Instagram page at the City of Miami Gardens or Dr. MC Powell, and I will give you some information and questions. I'm hoping to do a little bit more talks on this because women, let's talk about it. That's the only way we can help one another. Now, don't forget, we have a couple great things coming up. On March 19th, we have a free safety and boxing seminars for youth and family at Bunch Park at 6 to 8 o'clock. Kids will get a certificate for completion for safety course with their parents. And on the 20th, 21, and 22, the first Boxing in the Gardens. So I look forward to seeing you there, and please join us at Jazz in the Garden this weekend. Because I got vibrate. It's because the blood vessel changes.